Shalom, Havarim. Oh, let's have a shot of light for everybody. Yes, sirree. And right at the end of the live stream on Tuesday night, I just noticed just a moment too late, Candace was asking for a shofar blast. So, Candace, this is for you especially. Okay, as my title for this video suggested, we're going to get close and personal with Ken and his studio. I've showed you some things about my studio and explained some things that I could explain to you before, but I had limited capabilities of explaining and limited ways of showing you about what I do and how I work with the components that I use daily in putting together these readings that we do on Tuesday nights, and of course doing the other videos that I do, tutorials and etc., teachings that I do occasionally on someday during the weekend between Tuesdays. But anyway, I thought a lot of times I go to someone else's live stream and I said, well, I wonder how they're doing this, or I wonder how they're doing that. I wonder what kind of setup they have and what kind of a screen they've got behind them. And I wonder, you know, if they're using more than one camera, or if you're using one camera and doing everything. Just a lot of wondering. So I thought, you know, you guys might be interested in seeing a little bit behind the scenes, seeing where I live, so to speak, and me being a little more personal without getting too personal, if you know what I mean. Of course, I am dressed casually. It's my off day, and I'm wearing my cowboy hat just because I like it, and I think it looks good too. I had a lot of compliments on the cowboy hat last week, and I appreciate that, guys. Not last week, it's the first of this week. But anyway, weeks are not considered the same by me anymore, and never will be, now that I know that Yahweh's calendar changes everything for the better. Amen. Okay, first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my workspace. And what I will do, I've got a second camera, the camera that I used to use for this picture that I upgraded, I can use as another camera to get a background view or whatever, wherever I point that second camera. But I will let you know that when I did this, when I added a second camera, it made a mess of every scene that I have in my OBS, and I had to work for literally about an hour and a half going back and getting the settings reset on the initial scenery that I had already developed in OBS. And I may still find stuff that's out of whack because of adding a second cam, because it added a difference in the way that the pictures and the scenes and the media that was going to the camera. I mean, if you were to listen to the song of Alan that I play at the beginning, at the end of every video, you would have seen his video up here only in this area. We're trying to go the right way, in this area. And that's all that there was. So I had to pull that back down, pull it back down this way, and resize everything. Everything had to be resized. The picture of me and the camcorder, and then the backdrop behind me, every backdrop that I have, every one that I have, and then all of the several amenities, the fireworks, etc., all those things had to be readjusted because I messed every one of them up by hitting a setting that I was not sure of. You know, sometimes we mash a button and say, uh-oh. Oh. And with OBS, there is no undo button. Whatever you do, it's there. So if you make a mistake, there's a good chance you're going to be making lots of repairs. But okay, next on the list here is going to the second cam. Okay, you can see here on my second cam that this is me in the cowboy hat here. Hi guys, I'm facing that way. I'm facing the computer and looking at the computer, and I'll have to go by the computer so I can show you things. Where I'm circling now, that is the new camera on a boom arm. And if you'll watch, that boom arm can rotate like that, go from side to side, and then back. And I told you it's almost completely off of my screen, so it's not really in my way so much anymore. Not so much as the other one was right here in the center of my desktop. It blocked everything. I couldn't see around it. And naturally, it's not neat like I can move it like this. That is cool. But anyway, that's the idea that I had. I've been thinking about this for months, and finally Yahweh was able to help me to get the things that I needed to get to step up. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. I don't know if you can see my face in that or not. Probably not. Yeah, maybe so. I saw. Every time I look back, my face is gone. I look, I see my face, I think. Look back quick. Oh, it's gone before I can get back. Who'd have thunk it? Okay, now you can see there's my lighting. You can't see both of my lights. The other light is too far off to the right over here somewhere. Excuse me. And then I've got lighting up here that you can't see in this shot either, but it's no big deal. And up there is my clock. Let me see if I can actually, there we go. That's the clock. And then the picture in the middle there, that's my family. Just a family pic, and it's a goofy picture too. Okay, but anyway, that's good. All right, and what to next? Let's go back to the Zoom mic screen. Okay, I'll go back here. Now, I'm going to help you to understand the technology that I use, my black backdrop, and the software that brings the darker areas and fills it with the background photo scenery that I have behind me. Back there, what you're seeing behind me, which is actually up there, which is in the computer. And because there's nothing like that that looks like that behind me. Just the image in the computer. So I'll show you how I do that, and I can show you now that I have this camera, because the other camera was not capable of the resolution that this camera is capable of, so I couldn't get a quality video. But now, praise Abba, we can. So let me step back. Now, I'm just casual. I'm not dressed in a three-piece suit. You know that. So I'm just in a pair of like sweats or no, yeah, sweats colored t-shirt and pants. Okay, my black screen is here. You can't see it, but I'm shaking it. Okay, the black screen is there. And if I open the black screen, you would think, well, we're going to see inside his house. No, you're not. That's not how this works. It's darker behind me than it is in the studio. I have the light there and the light there and the light here that all gives me light where the studio is bright. But this is a reflected light. The light that I had there, if you noticed earlier, the light that was over there was it over there or over here? It was over here, I think. Yeah, the light that was over here because the camera is backwards. Okay. Anyway, the light that was over here, here. This is silly sometimes. The light that was over here is facing the ceiling so that I'm getting a reflected light and not just a bright light, because bright lights can cause problems, and so it needs to be a diffused light and not just a bright light. And it's the same way with the light on the other side, which would be that side what you were seeing earlier. Um, that was also aimed at the ceiling, even though it's a lower location. It's aimed at the ceiling also to get scatter from the ceiling. So I used to be a photographer, so I know about, a little bit about lighting and whatnot. And of course, the headlight above me is to make everything smooth at the top. Okay. Now, you see my chair behind me, in front of me, I mean. You see my chair in front of me, and it's not disappearing. Why is that? Well, because the technology is actually picking up from my background. And my background has some light in it. Although it's not good light, it has some light in it. So this makes this black thing to not disappear because of the light that's behind me. But if I pull this black curtain, you can't see it, see my hand goes behind it. It is a black curtain that I'm holding in my hand, and I can hold it on this side and my hand doesn't disappear. But if I pull this black curtain behind the chair, guess what's going to happen? The chair will disappear. And me too, if I'm behind the black curtain. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Yeah, it's the Kenzard of Oz. Anyway, you see the chair disappeared because of the black background behind that was a constant black background and without any lighting changes. So if it's constant black without any lighting, that means everything that is black is going to disappear. Like, for example, if I put it over in front of me, that's a light background, right? So you can see the black in this, but if it's not in front of me, as it goes outside of me, it disappears. The software cuts it out. Oh. And I've given up on my black coffee cup. It's going to disappear as long as I have the black coffee cup. And I may get a white coffee cup. I'm going to look for one. I've looked for one, and the last time I looked, I couldn't find one. So eventually I'll get one, I hope. But if I don't, I have just got a phenomenally cool disappearing coffee cup. and nobody understands how it can possibly hold my coffee. Oh, that's silly, but that's just me. Well, I hope and pray that this has been enjoyable to you, seeing a look behind the scenes, what I do with OBS software and what I do with the equipment that Yahweh has given me. And I will continue to try and come up with other things and always make the show more enjoyable for me as well as for you, and even more enjoyable for Yahweh our Father, although he already knows it ahead of time exactly what I'm going to do. He's good at that. But regardless, if you have questions about anything that I'm doing here and you want to know how I do this or how I do that, or Brother Ken, what was that on top of your computer? I saw something on top of your computer just laying there, some sort of brownish looking thing. Well, I would ask you, is it this sort of thing right here? This is a brush, and I do not use it to brush my hair. I use it to clean my keyboard. And I use it to clean my computer. I can use it on the camera, but I would rather use something more specific for the camera. I'm not going to get dust on the camera lens if I try to use that there. But a brush and computers and electronics always goes hand in hand. So any other questions like that you have, just shoot them on to me in the comment section below this video, and I'll try to explain or to share with you what's going on in Ken's Corner. Hey, that's a pretty cool thing, right? Ken's Corner. You come in late, hey, it's not a bad thing. You get to go to Ken's Corner. David Ray will probably enjoy that. All right. Well, Chavarim, I'm so thankful for you coming by and visiting with me, and I hope that you have enjoyed yourselves. And like I said, any questions you have about the technology I'm using, the way that I'm doing things, I'll be glad to share with you. And some of you may be interested because you want to do this same sort of thing. And if Yahweh is leading you that way, you cannot avoid it. If he's leading you that way, you're just going to have to do it. I did. And I think Alan had to. He did, and he was faithful many years. And that is admirable, honorable, because this is not easy work. It takes dedication. It takes a heart to love Yahweh and to love those of his family, and now my family and your family. Shalom Chavarim, and we will go ahead and let Alan take us out. Why not? It's a thing that we do all the time, right?
When you're down and worried, lift your hands up to the sky, and he's glorified. But when you look to the world, well, there ain't nothing you will find but emptiness inside. You've got to hand your cares over to Jesus to get satisfied. When I was down and troubled, I found out just how many friends cared about my life. And then my problems doubled, and I filled up with discouragement. I broke down and cried. Yeah, but when I took my cares over to Jesus, I got satisfied. You gotta take your cares over to Jesus if you wanna get satisfied. Hey, he took me in his arms and he held me tight. He said, son, don't you worry, I'll be right here by your side until you're sure you're satisfied. Now I stand here as your witness to the true and the tried. You've got to hand your cares over to Jesus if you want to get satisfied. So when you're down in trouble, lift holy hands up to the light, and he's glorified. Don't look back on the world, 'cause there ain't nothing left to find but one bad disguise. You've got to hand your cares over to Jesus to get satisfied. Yeah. Hand your cares over to Jesus